Want to just kind of familiarize ourselves with how to pop open the program and how to get started drawing a part. Concentrate on sketching, show how we can look at the different planes for a sketch, then use the tools rectangle, line, use some center lines, circle tool, polygon, and then show you how we can use smart dimension to be more specific with our drawing. Then we'll do a little bit of, in the features tab, we'll extrude some of our shapes into 3D solids. And then finally we will take those 3D solids and make them a little bit more complicated by sketching something on an object face, using some other commands, offset, move, mirror, and extrude cut. Okay, so I'm going to just take this right now and dump that right into the chat and then get it out of the way. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so I have my Solidworks screen popped open, but this is just open as if I just started the program. I haven't started drawing anything at all yet. I just opened it up. It is a large program, so it takes 45 seconds or so to open up. But that's all I've done so far. So right now, if you would just click on the SolidWorks icon, this is what you get. Those of you who got it, go ahead and pop it open, and you should see a screen like what you're seeing on mine. If I'm too soft or too loud or anything like that, please somebody let me know. If you can't hear me, I guess you don't know I'm saying this if you can't hear me. But just let me know how it's going. Okay, thank you, Jason. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a part. So go up to File, New, and we're going to choose Part. When I do it, I don't know if it's just because that's what I have most recently done, it's already highlighted. So if it's not, go ahead and click on Part, and then click OK. And your screen should turn white, and you have a little array of icons across the top. But most important now, we've got these tabs right here. We've got, the first one says Features, and the second one says Sketch, and that's the one we're going to be interested in first. Okay, so go ahead and make sure you're in Sketch. And let's start off, let's just click on, these are the sketch tools right here. And let's just click on the rectangle. It says corner rectangle whenever you choose it. And you'll see that whenever you choose a tool, you get this kind of 3 different planes view. This is going to let you draw your sketch in any of those 3 planes. And it really doesn't matter which one you use. You can rotate whatever you draw any direction you want. I usually draw it either in the front plane or the top plane just because it's kind of easiest to visualize. But like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and click on the top plane. There it is. See, whenever you get close to that perimeter, it'll turn a different color. And then whenever you click on it, that's the only one that's there. And so now I still have the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to make myself a rectangle. Doesn't matter how big you make it, just make a rectangle. Okay, now the nice thing about SolidWorks is you can draw first and then tell it what you want. So I've drawn a rectangle, and let's say I want this to be a 1 inch by 1 inch square. Right now it doesn't look like a square. So I'm going to click right now on this Smart Dimension, and you see my icon has turned into, right next to the arrow, I now have a little dimensional arrow thing. And I'm going to choose one side of my rectangle and pull it out. I'll notice it has a dimension in there, but I want it to be 1 inch, not 2.02399 like it is. So I'm just going to type a 1 and enter, and it will change it. Okay, and I wanted it to be a square, so I'm going to do the same thing with the other dimension. Okay, and now you'll notice that from our perspective here, that does not look like a square, but that's because it's trying to show us perspective. If we were to look at this straight down, it would be a perfect square. Okay, so let me show you now that we have that over here. Whenever you're doing something, it'll kind of stay current in that operation that you were just in until you either check box over here, see where it says close dialog, or there's a variety of ways. I'll try to do some of the different ones as we go. And then let me just show you some things. When you're using SolidWorks, there's some different things that the mouse will do. If you have a wheeled mouse like mine, then rolling the wheel will zoom you in and out. But the zoom is kind of different. If you have your mouse way over on the side like this and you zoom, it's going to zoom kind of like towards where your mouse is. So you notice my image is going farther away. If I go right in the center of the image and zoom, then I'm zooming right in like I want. So you can kind of play with positioning your mouse in different places on the screen to get the object the way you want it. If you press down on the wheel and roll, then you start to rotate your shape. And if you like something a little bit more precise than that, then you can go down here to the X, Y, and Z axis, and just let's click right on the Y there, and it will take us to that top view like we wanted. And now you can see that it's showing you top view. Okay, so now we have this rectangle. I'm going to go a little bit off to the side so we can kind of see what I'm doing next. Okay, and I want to make that into a 3D solid. Okay, so right now I'm going to switch from my Sketch tab to my Features tab. And when I do that, if you notice, the tools change. So now I have this tool that says Extruded Boss / Base. That's what I want to do. And it's showing me already that it's going to turn that into a 3D shape. Let's make this, for our sake, let's make it a 1/2 inch wide. So I'm going to type over right here where it has the depth or dimension right here. I'm going to type 0.5. I don't have to say units because right now it's considering inches to be my units, but if I wanted to, I can. Where's inches? There it is. And then I'll hit enter. Make sure that's what I want, and again I can go ahead and click the checkbox, and it now has turned that into a solid. So I have now drawn my first 3D solid. And now what I just did is I'm holding the mouse wheel down and just rolling the mouse around. Okay, so simple as that, we have constructed a solid object. I could export that, print it on a 3D printer, could give that to a machine shop and they could machine it out of aluminum, variety of things, but it is actually now a real entity in SolidWorks. I really doubt that we want to make too many rectangular prisms, so let's see if we can do something a little bit more interesting with it. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to do something with our shape. And if I try to go back to Sketch, notice I don't have my planes anymore. So now I have to tell it where I want to do my sketch. And let's just say I want to do a sketch right here on that face. Okay, let's for our sake, let's make another box that we're going to project off of this one. And what I want to do is, this one is, what did we say, 1 inch? Let's make one that's slightly smaller but centered on there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go back to this rectangle tool, corner rectangle, and if you go to your current shape, whenever you get to certain features, you'll see these little circles and boxes light up. The circle is representing my endpoints, and then the boxes will represent the midpoint of a side. Okay, so I want to make a rectangle that is exactly the same as the top of that. But I want to add to this total shape something a little bit different. So now I want to show you some other commands. Up here, there's one called offset. This is one that I use probably more than anything else because it allows you to take a shape and make it either bigger or smaller, move a line to one side or the other side, and you've got this parameter that tells you exactly how you want it done. So in this case, it's moving at 1/10 of an inch. Let's go an eighth. 125. Okay, and I actually don't want it to go outside. I'd rather it go inside. So I'm going to go over here where it says reverse and click on reverse. And now I've got my new box, my offset box, 1/8 of an inch inside the original box. So I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to go back to features and extrude that as well. Now it's gone to, as a default, my 1/2 inch that I used the last time. If I want to use a 1/2 inch again, I can go ahead and just say, all right, let's, just for the sake of being different, let's go 1/4 inch. And so now what I've done is I have added to my shape with a little 1/8 inch wall, kind of raised section on the outside. Okay. Done with the extrude command, and the sketch was started with our offset. Okay. Now, a whole bunch of things we can do. Let's put a hole the whole way through our shape. And for this hole, I would like to put a hole right in the center of this. And I need to have a way to find that center. So I'm going to go ahead back to Sketch, and I'm going to click on that face right there. That's where I want to draw. And I'm going to go to now this under line. I'm going to choose center line, and I'll show you why in a second. Go ahead and click it. And I'm going to draw a center line that is diagonal across this shape. Okay. And I said I was going to show you some other ways to get out of a command. Notice after I drew the line, I still have my line kind of hanging on my mouse there. If I want to be done and don't want to draw another line, you can just right-click and select. And now it's done. Okay, so now what I've got is a center line that is right through the middle of, diagonally through the middle of that, that face, or the inside portion of my square. And so I'm going to go up here to circle, and I'm going to go on this line, and you notice the little box appears. Those of us who know geometry will realize if I drew a diagonal from corner to corner, then the center of that diagonal was also the center of the square. So I can just draw myself a circle right there. Go ahead and click OK. And let's see, how big do I want to make that circle? I'm going to use my smart dimension again. Click on the circle and pull it out. Right now it is 0.428 in diameter. Let's make it exactly a 1/2 inch. Oops, 1/2 inch. Okay, notice it's got a little bit bigger, and my dimension now shows that it's a 1/2 inch. Okay, so I want to turn that circle that I just drew into a hole. And let me do something first. I drew this as a center line, and I told you I would explain why. Leave yours as a center line if you're drawing with me. I'm going to turn mine back. Maybe. Here we go.